Spanish cyclist Samuel Sanchez spent almost 2 decades as one of the most consistent climbers in the peloton, finishing in the top 10 at the Vuelta on 6 occasions and in the top 10 at the Tour de France 3 times. He has many top 10s in one-day races as well, and banked an impressive 34 wins. These are 4 of the best ones. It's 2005, Sanchez's 5th year in the pros, with Team Euskaltel Euskadi, one of the most iconic Spanish teams of all time. They're at what is for them the 2nd biggest race of the year, the 2005 Vuelta a España. Sanchez has been close at big races before, but never in a position to win a stage of a Grand Tour. Today, though, he has a chance. He's bridged the gap from the peloton to the breakaway, with 7 men holding on to a small 30-second lead into the final climb. With 1 kilometer to go, Oscar Pereiro and Mauricio Ardilla looked the best, with the Spaniard leading the race by a few seconds before the Colombian took over inside the last kilometer. But to their surprise, Sanchez came from behind to join the duo. Ardilla opens the sprint first, in the closing few hundred meters, and celebrates what he thinks in his win, but there's still a bit to go. He thought a billboard over the road was the finish line marker, which in his defense, we can kind of see the confusion. Now it's Pereiro and Sanchez going head to head, and it's Sanchez who easily comes out on top. A declaration of talent, an announcement to the general fans that he was one to watch. The 2011 Tour de France is widely regarded as one of the best tours of all time, where each stage was electric, and stage 12 was no exception. It's the first high mountain stage of the tour, with the summit finish of Luz Ardiden. Sanchez and Jelle van Aert have caught up to the remnants of the day's breakaway and blown past them. Their bid for the stage win is assisted greatly by the general classification contenders spending the climb watching each other, far more concerned about losing the overall than winning the stage. Even once they start attacking, and when Frank Schleck closes in on Sanchez and Van Aert, it's too late. Sanchez attacks, his trademark kick, and he's gone, storming to his first Tour de France stage win. It's a very emotional and exciting win for us, because there was a lot of support for us. For me, it's a dream come true. It's a very important victory. We are not a big budget team, but a modest, all-Basque team. It's our biggest victory of the season. I've worked very hard to be at my very best for the Tour de France, and I've sacrificed more than ever before. I've spent time away from my family and from people who I've lost, but now it's worth it. Over the remaining stages, Sanchez would still get into breakaways and battle over mountains to win the final King of the Mountains jersey in Paris, a great bonus to his tour. The 2008 Beijing Olympics road race contained 7 loops on a 23.8 kilometer section up and down the Badaling Pass, maxing out at a 10% gradient. The entire Spanish team were favorites to medal, with Sanchez, Alberto Contador, Carlos Sastre, and Alejandro Valverde all flying the flag. They'd be facing challengers like Fabian Cancellara, David Rebellin, Stefan Schumacher, and Cadel Evans. On the final ascent of the climb, the leading group, Sanchez, Rebellin, and Andy Schleck, reached the summit of the climb, with 12.7 kilometers left in the race. Behind, Fabian Cancellara is chasing, joining up with Michael Rogers and Alexander Kolobnev, who had been dropped by the Sanchez group. They all come together in the closing seconds, and the 6-up sprint, every man is racing for himself, but no one is faster than Sanchez, taking a gold medal and the biggest win of his career, one that everyone around the world understands the significance of. This is the most important thing in my whole career. Before that, I was just a cyclist. After Beijing, I became a recognized sportsman in Spain. I live in Oviedo, where a street has been named after me. They also built a statue of me with my medal. After Beijing, my life changed. I was able to change everything. Car, clothes, watch, a lot of things. But my personality did not change. I stayed the same guy. I kept the same friends, and my family helped me to keep my feet on the ground. It was helpful, and I kept working to be good on the bike. The 2012 Tour of the Basque Country is the race of the year for Euskaltel Euskadi. It's their home race, filled with passionate fans, and it's the most mountainous major stage race of the year. It's also a race Sanchez grew up watching and dreaming of winning, and he's had success with stage wins in the past, but hasn't yet won the overall. After 2 flatter stages, the race hit the Queen stage, with its finish slightly after the first category climb of the Alto de Usarta. As they hit the climb, attacks start flying. Chris Horner and Joaquim Rodriguez establish a gap, with an elite group chasing behind, which Sanchez attacks out of. He bridges the gap, and now the 2 Spaniards and the American hold a 10-second lead on the climb, riding past throngs of fans, desperate for their man to win. It's a slight descent into the finish, and when the camera picks it up with 200 meters to go, Sanchez has timed his move perfectly, flying away from the competitors and winning the stage. He'd finish with the same time as Horner and Rodriguez, but due to the stage win, it's Sanchez that'll be in the lead overall. On stage 4, he'd lose 9 seconds to Rodriguez in a closing steep finale. Rodriguez would also win stage 5, and Sanchez headed into the final time trial with a 9-second deficit. And neither he or Rodriguez was renowned for their time trial abilities, so everything was up for grabs. They faced an 18.9 kilometer course with 3 brutal climbs, and technical descents made more dangerous by the weather conditions. Sanchez, wearing the points classification leader's jersey, flew through the intermediate checkpoint with the second fastest time of the day, 14 minutes and 51 seconds. Rodriguez was trying to put up a fight, limiting his losses at the halfway mark to 12 seconds. But Sanchez, on the road, now has a 3-second lead overall. For Rodriguez, he's having a bit of deja vu. Last year, he also lost this overall lead in the final time trial. For Sanchez, it's a dream come true, as he finally, officially wins the Tour of the Basque Country. Step by step, I have been realizing all the dreams that I had since I was a kid. The course was dangerous, but it was dangerous for everybody. Everybody takes the risks he wants to take, and all bikes have brakes. I took the right risks, and I liked this time trial. The victory comes at a time when the future is uncertain. We've lived through trying times and can only pedal our bikes, and so far we have done better than ever. My case is the clearest example of the success of that philosophy, that it's based on hard work.